Here's why I stopped using textbooks to teach kiddos how to become fluent in another language. Hi, I'm Juliana. I was raised monolingual and now I'm fluent in 3 languages and can have basic conversations in almost 9 different languages. And now I help kiddos do the same. And this is why I want to share with the world that kiddos can become fluent in another language. They don't need Duolingo, and how I transformed my method of how I transform failing Spanish at 14 to now being fluent in it. And this is my mission, is to help kiddos do the same. So how do we do this? Okay, let's just back it up a little bit here. So raised monolingual, failed Spanish at 14, then became fluent and then became a Spanish teacher, got my master's in Spanish and lived abroad, became an interpreter, worked for different companies. Like, I've had the experience, and now I go back into the classroom and I just see that kiddos are not, A, believing that they can become fluent in another language. They think that's for someone else. B, they're not even, they feel instantly discouraged because of the way that it's being taught, aka textbooks. And those 2 things, A and B, by first believing you can't do it and the way that's taught, it's like, of course, kiddos can't believe that they can be fluent. Like, there's no, like, why would they have any proof to think that they can do that? So I left the classroom 6 years ago, and I was like, okay, the way that we are approaching languages, it's not working. It's not working. Kids are either just memorizing it for the test, or some kids are completely checked out, which was me. I was completely checked out. And so why do I ditch textbooks, and why do I think that if you're watching this and you want your kid to speak another language and you feel frustrated, perhaps you're still in this mentality of like textbook mentality, right? And why textbook mentality is not going to have your kiddo progress in another language. And I'm sure that you feel frustrated by that. So it's like, what do we do then? So let me just give you background. Textbooks teach kiddos intellectually the language. Okay, textbooks teach kiddos the intellectual process of language learning. It does not set them up to be a fluid communicator in that language. And this is what we see in classrooms. We see this overdoing this like overload of so much grammar that kiddos feel overwhelmed, they're disinterested, and then they study the language for 2 or 3 years and can't even have a basic conversation. And this is something that I used to see in my classrooms, was kiddos just feeling overwhelmed. They didn't believe that they could do it. And this is the part that like makes me so sad, is like, languages can be easy and textbooks are not the way to do that. And so it's like, all right, kiddos, like, let me show you another way. So I want to share this, like, like documenting life as it is right now as a business owner who has an online language school, and I saw what it used to be and how I used to teach to how we're doing it now and how we're getting kiddos speaking and understanding the language. Just today, we had some kiddos, we were reading our chapter book, one of the first chapter books, The Word Thief, and it was so amazing because the textbook is the chapter book. It's a cool chapter book. I think I actually have one right here. Well, this is the Korean version, but like, this is the chapter book that they read, like, this is their textbook. So we have 9 languages and counting. But so here's the thing, right? So we're reading the story. So traditionally you would get like a list of words and you'd match, English to Spanish or English to Korean. You just match like singular words, right? Or you would learn all these grammar rules and then apply it, fill in the blanks. That's the way of the past. That's for people that truly will spend years and get nowhere. What we're doing now differently is we're having kiddos, we read the story together. So they're hearing it. We're dissecting the language together. They're looking at the meaning. I'm asking them this or that questions, open-ended questions. We're not talking anything about grammar. None of it. No grammar at all. And so today we did a review of chapters 1 through 4, and it was amazing because what I did was I took the sentences from the book and I scrambled them up. So this was, in my teacher brain, what I'm doing is, can the student understand the structure of a sentence? Structure of a sentence means a sentence that is understandable when you're in a conversation. So if they can understand that natural pattern of the language, they start doing that in their head and it starts to become natural, rather than having time to have that intellectual process of go, oh, okay, this is how the verb works like this, and you have to do this, then you have to add this. Like, that mental process is so overwhelming, and like, I can understand why kids feel like, I can't understand, like, this is too much. And let me tell you how well these 8-year-olds did. They literally got, I had 20 different examples. They literally got every single example correct, which shows me they understand the context, they understand what's being said, and they know how to organize the words and the sentence together to make sense. This is speaking. This is them seeing that conversation. This is putting it all together. Because before it was like explaining. We're not explaining, we're using. We're not explaining, we're using. And the confidence that these kids have now, the confidence for them to be like, I understand what this means. And then to be able, so they have understanding of the words, the context. So if I ask them a question about what we just read, they're able to understand it and respond. That's why I say we can get kiddos speaking another language within like the first class. And this is the magic that it took me years to discover this, And then now basically it's like I'm sharing all the systems and the tools to do this for kids to become fluent. It's amazing. All right, I'm going to report more back on amazing things that we do with kiddos to get them fluent. So if you're interested, please make sure you subscribe, follow along for more if you want your kiddo to speak another language. And drop in the comments, like, what language do you want your kiddo to speak? Like, what would be their ideal language to speak in 2026? We probably have it. If we don't, we'll add it. All right, see you next time. Bye.